Happy Friday. Friday is ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet of love and beauty, money, self-worth. Today is just a really good day to take care of yourself. Do something a little extra to kind of romanticize your day. Maybe it's putting on makeup, doing your hair, taking a longer walk, driving a different route. Do something to kind of spice up your day today. This weekend, we do have the moon joining Mars and Uranus and Gemini, and that could lead to some really unexpected emotional shifts, emotional outbursts, emotional declarations of love. This might be a good weekend to declare your love for somebody or just really kind of put your emotions out there. That energy will be supported. But if you're feeling really angry or explosive in other ways, slow down. Again, we still have a lot of emotional processing happening for people. So you want to slow down, take care of yourself. Again, find a way to romanticize your life, even though we're all going through hard stuff. Everybody. A girlfriend asked me the other day, like, how do you stay so positive? And one, because I have to. Like, I'm raising 3 kids basically on my own. I can't afford to be in a funky headspace or emotional space. And if you hear thumping and bumping, it's because I do have kids upstairs playing basketball, and there's a lot of them. So that's just kind of a part of my life. But I have really heavy stuff going on in my life currently, and I could let it completely rip me apart, tear me down, just affect me in such negative ways. But I choose not to let that happen. For so long, I let my external circumstances, the people around me, the relationships I was in, the money I had, like how much I weighed, all of that define who I was and what I was worth. And peace came when I stopped doing that, because all of those things are out of, for the most part, out of my control. There's some of those things that are in my control, but I can't always control I can't control how people treat me. I can't control if somebody feels some kind of way about me. I can't control any of that. I can control not wanting to be around them. I can control knowing who I am so solidly that how they treat me or what they do like doesn't change how I feel about myself. And that's where my peace comes from. No matter what's going on in my external life, God has shown me like time and time and time and time and time again that He is walking through this with me. Like, truly, once I went through my awakening, it did kind of feel like the Bible like came to life in a way. And I am not super religious. I would say growing up, I really questioned religion and some of the things in the Bible, and I definitely still do. I think that they have been misconstrued. I think that there's a lot of things that have been programmed into us from religion that's just not true. But when I went through my awakening, it did kind of feel like these Bible stories just came to life, and I could really see how God was working through me. And even though I go through hard things and I've experienced heartbreak and literally have felt my soul get crushed at times, I know that I wouldn't be going through any of that if God didn't know I could handle it. So there have been times where I'm like, you know what, it would be easier if I wasn't here. I'm not suicidal by any means, nor have I ever been, but there have definitely been times that I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And time and time again, God reminded me of what spiritual warfare was. And I didn't believe in any of this stuff or really have knowledge of any of it before my awakening. But again, it just became so real. Like, good energy is real, bad energy is real, like angels, demons, warlock, witches, like magic, sex magic, like all of that is actually real. And I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And this stuff is real. Like, I can see it happening. I can see these demons on people. I can see negative energy on people. I think I kind of gravitate towards the negative energy because I just am like sad that they're letting that happen. We can't let everything else control us when we know that God is walking with us. And yes, He's letting these hard things happen, but there is something happening in those hard times. So while yes, I am not always 100% positive, like 99.9% of the time I am, because I do fully trust that God is walking me down this path wherever it's going to lead. And maybe I will go through another loss. And I think sometimes like the death of the dream or the shame, embarrassment of going through something difficult is really what keeps us from getting to the other side. But that's all made up in our heads. We all go through hard stuff. We all experience financial loss at times. We all experience romantic hardships, family difficulties, like toxic friendships, toxic work environments. Everybody goes through this stuff, but we hold so much shame when we're the ones going through it. We can hold space and compassion when somebody else is, but if we're going through it, we judge ourselves so harshly. And that's something I've really had to break. That's just a habit I've had to break. I've felt shame and guilt all my life for pretty much everything, you know? And again, that was my childhood growing up. That's just kind of how I was raised. You know, there wasn't room for my space, and I really was the scapegoat, like the black sheep of my family. And that was really difficult having to deal with that. And it's really difficult being the only one who sees the dysfunction and is willing to say something and do something about it. Other people see it, but they don't want to say anything. And I think that that's more damaging collectively. I think we have all been under narcissistic programming for a long time. Even if you're parents or you haven't been in romantic narcissistic relationships, we all have experienced it just with our programming, our religious programming, our TV programming, everything. Everything is designed to keep us feeling bad about how we look, about our finances, about what we think, how we feel, all of it. And that's all a lie. Like, it's just all a lie. It's normal to have feelings. It's normal to experience a range of feelings and have them change. Our feelings tell us about our boundaries, our circumstances. Fear keeps us safe. Anxiety is telling us something is not right here. Anger is telling us somebody is violating our boundaries, and our soul does not like that. All of our feelings teach us something. And yes, while we can't let our feelings control us, we should be listening. Our feelings, our heart, all of that is connected to God. Like, that is how we stay open. And no matter what I've been through, no matter how awful people have been to me at times, and even when they try to cover it up, like, oh, being all nice and supportive, but really there's undercurrents, like, people can feel that. We pick up on that. We can't think that like dolphins have the ability to be telepathic, but humans don't. Like, we do. We have the ability to read people's thoughts. Every single one of us has some sort of spiritual gift or talent, and we all have the ability to communicate in other ways, not just with our words. Our energy tells the story, and when our energy isn't matching our actions or our words, there's a misalignment, and people can pick up on that. My mind is all over the place, which is indicative of all of this Gemini energy. It's this energy with Uranus and Mars in Gemini, now with the moon moving into Gemini, is overthinking. It can be overstimulation. Your nervous system may feel out of whack. I know I have felt acute anxiety this morning, and that's something I've definitely had to work through, but I still get anxiety sometimes, and sometimes for no reason. Sometimes I feel like it's other people that I'm connected to and their things that they're processing. Like, we all have spiritual gifts and abilities, and some people are here, I call them helpers, and they come into our lives to help ignite us, to help change us, or to help even transmute, alchemize our feelings or our stories and our traumas. So while the relationship didn't work out, or the friendship didn't work out, or the business, whatever it was, those people still had codes for you. So again, like, I can stay positive because no matter the BS that I've been through, I still got something out of it. I still learned something. I still got a code. I still, I evolved in some ways. So when things fall apart or things don't go as expected, well, I can still feel disappointed at times and sometimes for longer than I care to admit. It's okay. Like, we're here processing, and a lot of the people that come into our lives are people that we've had past life relationships with, unfinished business. And in this lifetime it may feel like, oh, we're meant to be together because we have this thing, but maybe in this lifetime that's not how it is, and you're just here to kind of close the door and say, I'm not going to hold on to pain, resentment, unforgiveness, or unfulfilled dreams, like, I think sometimes, most of the time, all the time, God sends us people when we need them, whether it's friendships, romantic relationships, what have you. And sometimes they're here for a season, sometimes they're here for a long time. And we just have to trust that no matter what happens, like, we're gonna be okay. We can love people, but trust that sometimes that is what it is. And again, I think that that gives such a sense of freedom too, of I don't have to cling to the past or cling to what I thought was going to happen or what I thought was for me. You can let it go and just completely trust God that whatever is for you is for you. You're always right where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, and God wouldn't have you going through a hard time if he didn't know you could get through it and you were going to learn something and change and evolve in some way. Oftentimes, when you're going through the pit, you're going through the fire, that's when the elevation is going to happen. Again, in the Bible, it talks about refining people like silver, and to refine people like silver, it's to hold them in the fire. That's how you burn off everything that is not pure, and then you become pure silver, pure gold. And again, that's the whole point, is to bring us back into our connection with God, bring us back into who he brought us here to be, not this programming by our parents or religion or social media. I mean, you just think about what the news has been pushing out, these agendas, these narratives for so long, and it really just gets in people's heads. We have to be the ones to change it. And going back to that, how do you stay so positive? Like, my peace and my energy is the most important thing to me. I can't be feeling irritated and funky and agitated because I'm consuming too much on social media or the news or even like everybody else's stuff, because I have 3 kids to raise. I have to do a good job for them. Like, I owe it to them to be able to uplift them and encourage them and be the parent that God asked me to be. That is very important to me. But that's important to me not just as a parent, as a human too, of my job is, I'm here to uplift people. It's how I've been ever since I was little. And yes, I did go through a long period of really being able to point out people's triggers or their flaws, and sometimes not a very healthy way. Fully admit that. My teenage years, my 20s, I had a mouth. I can fully admit that. And I do, again, think that God restored me, even with all of my flaws, even with all of my mistakes. He still said, nope, you can handle this. You can go through the fire. I can purify you. And then you can help other people who need to do the same. None of us are perfect. We all have history and traumas and wounds. And that's just a part of life. But how we take all of that in and transmute it into something better for ourselves, for our family, our community, our children, just the world, that's on us. That's our responsibility. I take that responsibility seriously. We also need to have fun and let loose. And I've really been thinking about like how I had fun as a kid. And I was definitely a very like parentified child. I really worried about everybody else's feelings and really was the one who kind of took care of everybody else. So I struggle to like remember what I did. But what I do remember is I was always the teacher, I was always the mom, I was always the zookeeper. And it wasn't about being the boss for me, it was about being helpful and nurturing and give people love and support and encouragement, like something that I really didn't feel like I had. And I don't know if you've ever seen a child's face or a human's face when they're trying to seek connection or approval from their parent and they get shot down in some way. The parent says something as a joke or off putting, and their whole face deflates. Like that, seeing that makes me want to vomit. Like, I think that that's just the worst thing in the world. Our kids are everything, and we're shaping how they feel about themselves. Like, why wouldn't we take that seriously? There's nothing more important than that. So if we have to learn how to talk to ourselves and take care of ourselves so we can do a better job of doing that for the people around us, we should do that. And again, I'm rambling with all this Gemini energy, but I do have so much to say on this. Again, I struggled for so long. And I was angry. I was around people who really mistreated me and really did not give a flying fuck about me. They didn't. And yes, I chose them. They were wounds from old lives. And it was to make me aware that this is a pattern for me of being in relationships like this. And once I became aware, it was just very easy to say, I no longer choose that dynamic. I don't want to be in relationships with people that don't care about me. Like, why would I do that? Like when you really think about it, it's like, just duh, like, why would I do that? And no matter how much I love them because of our proximity, just no thank you. I, appreciate the soul contract that we had. I definitely do know that these are people that agreed to take on these roles in my life. So I don't necessarily view their soul in a negative way. I view their actions and the way that they went about things in a negative way. But again, I think that's just where the forgiveness comes in, and being able to view things from this higher perspective is, I don't blame your human. I don't blame your soul. Your human might be a little dumb. Your soul did its job. Your demons are just working through you. And demons don't rob empty houses. So that must mean I'm worth something. So actually, thank you. I think that's just kind of the way you have to look at things, because if you're being attacked or targeted or mistreated in any way, it's because something wants to keep you down. And why would they want to do that if you weren't worth something? So when I am going through those moods of overthinking, of worrying, of stressing, of being negative, or thinking, oh my God, like, why is this happening to me? I just quickly can go back to that and say, oh, okay, well, God's got this then. I will listen to him and I will take action as he tells me to. I will be faithful and trustful. And anything that comes out of this, whether it's perceived by society as good or bad, I'm going to trust is all working out for my good, because it always has. So while that trust and surrender feeling was something that I really had to work towards, because it's difficult for me to blindly trust, to blindly surrender. But the feeling that I have when I am in that mindset is the best feeling in the world. So it's like, why would I choose to not feel like that when I know it's only a matter of my own thinking? We're in control of our own thinking. Stop picking up on all the thoughts of the world, of other people, of your friends. Stop doing that. Be quiet, be still. Ask yourself questions. And I beg you, think back to your own childhood and what was your life like then? Was it chaotic? Was it messy? Was it peaceful, loving, kind? What did you think love was then? Was it performance? A lot of us have these fear of abandonment wounds, this fear of rejection, and it was from past life, but our early childhood as well. How is that showing up in your life now, currently? Is it still, or is that something you've worked through? Trusting that you're safe in God will help you get through all of the difficult relationships, moments, and decisions. Staying in indecision and overthinking, though, will deplete you. It will automatically take 20% of energy. So clean up your mind, clean up your environment always. I really do preach that. Clean up your space. Anything that's kind of been lingering, telling you, oh, I should do this, that's weighing on you, that you're procrastinating on. Do that thing this weekend. This is the perfect weekend to do whatever that thing is. Because whatever that thing is running a software program in the back, and it's sucking your energy out because you're wondering about the possibilities. What are the consequences? What is the sequence of events after I do that thing? But those sequence of events aren't in your control, and they're not for you to know right now. Your only job is to do that thing, whatever that thing is. Maybe it's quitting smoking. Maybe it's quitting drinking. Maybe it's stepping out into nature more. Maybe it's calling that person that you have been meaning to call for years and you're scared. Maybe it's starting that business. Maybe it's posting on social media. Maybe it's getting into the gym. Whatever that thing, that pull, that program that's been in the back of your mind that's telling you, do this, start that this weekend. Start it from a place of love and fun, and I need to get this energy out because it's making me restless. I'm feeling anxious. I'm overthinking. I'm exhausted. I'm burning this energy just thinking about it when I can just do it, and it might not even take that long. So get all your little ducks in a row. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy your weekend. Do not tap into anything crazy. Don't let people get to you. Stay in your integrity. Stay centered. Get grounded. As always, like, get out into nature. Get out into the sun if you can. Get in water as much as you can. Try to rest your mind. Try to trust that God's got you. He will get you through whatever it is He's calling you to. And if you are feeling called to do something, do it, because you're supported in that way too. So, happy Friday.